back to LA Catholic Morning. Todd Sylvester with Ellen Taylor. Mike the Great. Reed's doing his thing. On the line, we have Logan Byrdman Byrd. He is a content creator for Rightside Media. You can connect with him at rightside.media.org. I don't know what to call you. Do I call you Byrdman?
Byrdman works just fine.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at your piece here in Rightside Media. Again, you go to rightside.media.org. For the love of Call of Duty. When I saw that, I was like, what? What is going on here, Byrdman?
Yeah, I decided to go with the play on words. It kind of speaks to my background more than anything. I liked the For the Love of God kind of God reference just because, of my faith, but also, it talks about to some degree, family matters as well. And I like the mix because I have an extensive background with Call of Duty, so it just kind of worked.
So for our listeners, because this is Catholic radio, I don't know if a lot of them even know what Call of Duty is. Can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. Call of Duty is it's a video game. At its core, it's just a video game. It's considered an FPS, which is just a first-person shooter game. And really at its core, it's just an arcadey 6v6 or 4v4. You play against people online, and that's pretty much all it is. It's a pretty simple concept, but it's been around for pushing 2 decades now.
Oh, I remember when it first came out because at the time I was a youth minister, and you would have loved, I set up a place in the youth center, and they called it the Tower of Terabyte. Like, dude, when I was reading your article, I was like, Logan would love this. He should come and check this out. I built double-decker benches, and I put 4 screens with 4 different gaming systems, and we played 16-player Halo. It was pretty awesome.
That's what I'm talking about. I love that. I love to hear that.
This game, Call of Duty 2, has had some staying power. Some come to the forefront and then they recede back. But this has gone through, I guess, many different iterations or upgrades or the newest releases. But you have kind of found an interesting point of something that you could do with this game to share with your wife, because speaking for the 50% of humanity, female, we don't necessarily, that wouldn't be our first go-to game if we were going to play games. So how did this kind of all tie together for you?
Well, it's funny. I've been competing in Call of Duty since I was somewhere in the ballpark of 13, 14 years old. I found a niche in that realm, and I've always kept an interest in it, even when I stopped doing it on a high level. And then, I've always watched it. I've always watched the live streams and stuff like that. But when I started dating my now wife and we got engaged, I was still watching it, and she would watch it with me here and there. And over time, she developed an interest in it. And then, as I said in the article, we ended up several weeks ago out in Dallas for the $2 million World Championship, and being in that live format and seeing all of that, it really kind of draws you in. And, it was a great way for us to kind of connect on a different level with this. And now it's become something that we can do together and share.
Which, as soon as I was reading this, I was like, I'm sure there are going to be some people that are going to be like, really? A video game? But years ago, I think my wife and I had been married for maybe like 10 years, and somebody recommended a book called His Needs, Her Needs by Dr. Willard Harley. And it's easy to remember because I thought of Harley Davidson. But the book, it's wonderful. It goes through 10 basic needs. And one of them, and especially for men, is to do things together, like to have activities together. And it was so cool, Logan, because at the back of the book, it listed hundreds of activities of things you may enjoy to do together. And one of them was to play video games. And we're going through and we're talking about, and it was just such a great conversation starter of, hey, do you think you'd like to go this? You want to go on a hike? Do you want to do this? You want to bake together? And I did not know. This is so sad. I'd been married to my wife for at least 10 years at that point in time. I did not know that my wife liked to play table tennis, ping pong. I didn't even know it. I'm like, are you kidding me? She goes, yeah, I enjoy playing. I'm like, what? I love ping pong. Like, what? So we
rushed out and got a ping pong table.
So we did, and we started playing. And I'm like, and then actually that's now transferred into pickleball. But it's like, it's one of those things where you may not even realize that you've got a mutual interest together in that spousal relationship, right, Logan?
It's true. No, it's absolutely true. And I remember early on, it's around the time before we got engaged, you know, she loves tennis, and I had no understanding of tennis. But I look at this now, and it kind of reminds me of when we were dating, where she was explaining tennis to me. I had no understanding, and I was never a big tennis fan until I started dating her. And then, you know, this is her interest, so it's now my interest. And I see her kind of doing that in the reciprocal with this. And it's just kind of funny how it's blossomed into something that we both pretty much on the same level care about. And it's funny how that kind of morphed into part of our relationship. But I also think that's just part of the staying power of our relationship, to be able to take things that might be different to people and then combine this to something that we can share on a deeper level and really use to benefit and grow our marriage.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Like being able to do those things together. Like, and I will admit, it's not always going to jive that way. Like, my wife does not like action adventure films.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with
a lot of things that are exploding and people getting shot and
they're
stuff.
loud.
And fortunately, I've got a bunch of sons, and I get together with them when I want to fill that little tinge of desire of I need stuff to blow up. But our favorite film is the same movie.
I know this.
It's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
That is our favorite film, and it's our go-to. Like if there's no family activities, nothing going on, and we just want to watch a movie, that is our go-to. And I think that is important in a shared relationship, right, Logan?
No, I completely agree. I absolutely agree. It's all about finding that, compromise in some degrees, but also just being willing to search and see what you might enjoy together, even when you think you might not.
I'm thinking men right now are listening to this, going out buying their wives' golf clubs. Look at honey, you're gonna love it.
Well, but okay, this is important. Like we had some friends of ours that they were struggling in their marriage, and they went to marriage counseling. And the marriage counselor, which I thought this was great counsel, said you have to find some shared activities.
Yeah.
They were both living very separate lives.
Yeah.
They were developing separate friendships, and it was pulling them apart. And they were like, "Listen, we're gonna be lost. Like we're going to be lost." So the counselor said, "What's your number one?" And for the guy, it was fishing. Like he had this incredible boat. I mean, I'm not even a boat guy. I'm not a fishing guy. Logan, I wanted this boat. Like this thing was awesome. And he goes, I basically want to fish every single day. And he's like, well, we're going to have to find a balance. So his wife said, all right, I'll try. So they went, and it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable for her. She hated it. She was like, this is so long and blah, blah, blah. So finally, one time he was like, listen, just sit in the shade, read a book, and I'll start, and let me just finish fishing, because they were doing a trolling motor. Anyway, long story short, that she's sitting there and she puts her novel down, Logan, and she picks up this catalog for fishing stuff. And she goes, you didn't tell me there was shopping involved. So she starts going through this catalog and starts pinning, circling stuff and all this stuff. The next thing you know, she's ordering hundreds of dollars. Now, they're very wealthy, by the way. They can handle this. But hundreds of dollars worth of fishing gear and stuff. And then because she had that kind of invested, part of it, she really got into it.
Or it made her life more comfortable, I got the shade hat.
Now, this was like 15 years ago. To this day, they embark in tournaments together. Like, that's a great end of the story,
awesome.
Right, Logan?
That's awesome. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, it's about finding that connection point and that compromise. I mean, that's how you make marriages last.
So you're going to get a high-end controller for your wife now?
We actually did. We actually did do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, that's what it's about, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
It really is. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Logan Byrd, thank you so much for joining us. Especially if you would like to connect with him, go to rightsidemedia.org. Thanks, Logan.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good one.
Take care.
too.
Take care.
Something fun together now.
I know. That's so good.